Alright. So, this Vice stream is already buffering for me. It's already buffering.
Technical ability and business. Now this agency gives them the legal green light to go ahead and do so. This is not good. Not good for consumers, not good for businesses, not good for anyone who connects and creates online. Not good for the democratizing force that depends on openness to thrive.
Hi, Samantha.
Moreover, it is not good for American leadership.
This lady is actually pretty good. There's like 2 members of the FCC that are doing the right thing.
I'm not alone with these concerns. Everyone from the creator of the World Wide Web to religious leaders to governors and mayors of big cities and small towns to musicians to actors to actresses to entrepreneurs and academics and activists.
68,000 people are watching this Vice stream right now.
They are reeling at how this agency could make this kind of mistake. They are wondering how it could be so tone deaf.
Oh, absolutely, I'm afraid of this.
That just a few unelected officials could make such a vast and far-reaching
there's still a chance that, like, okay, there's 2 chances that this could not fall through.
What is left? What recourse do consumers have? We're told, don't worry, competition will save us. But the FCC's own
There's no competition. We got regional monopolies.
Half the households in this country have no choice of broadband.
If I want high-speed internet, I have one choice. That's Spectrum. That's it.
You have no recourse. You have nowhere to go. We're told, don't worry, the Federal Trade Commission will save us. But the FTC is not the expert agency for communications.
Yeah.
It has a
pretty much.
Unfair and
pretty much.
Practices. But to evade FTC review,
because Ajit Pai is a total Verizon shill, and he's just going to get a big fat paycheck after he ends his term as FCC chairman.
It is both costly and impractical to report difficulties to the FTC. By the time the FTC gets around to addressing them in court proceedings or
that's a good one.
It's fair to assume that the startups and small businesses wrestling with discriminatory treatment.
Yeah, someone made a good point earlier.
Moreover,
and yeah, there's going to be plenty of buffering, just like right now. Someone made a really good point that Ajit Pai, like, he's going to get paid so much money that he is willing to become the most hated man on the face of the internet. It's just incredible. He's willing to do that. So just imagine how much money Verizon must be giving him. Like, it's got... I mean, the dude's already got to be set for life. It's incredible. And, yeah, this woman, she's one of the 2 people that are actually fighting to protect net neutrality.
But that is democracy in action, and something we can all support. To date, nearly 24 million comments have been filed in this proceeding.
I was just eating some hot dogs. I'm done though, I just finished it. I didn't want to eat the whole stream, but like, I was so hungry. I had to get something. Yeah, so I imagine that there's going to be a lot of buffering since it already like has been happening. I saw that ABC has a stream, so I might check that out. I might put that up. I'm going to see if that's any different. So
have been filed in this proceeding.
Yeah.
There is no record in the history of this agency that has attracted
our fellow. All right, so I just have audio for the ABC stream. but I don't see any video on it.
This is not acceptable. It's a stain on the FCC and this proceeding. This issue is not going away. It needs to be addressed. Finally, I worry that this decision and the process that brought us to this point is ugly. It's
14
ugly
viewers.
in the cavalier disregard
All things
this
considered,
agency
that's
has
kind of high right
demonstrated to
now.
the public, the contempt it has shown for citizens who speak up, and the sheer disdain it has for public opinion. Unlike its predecessors, this FCC has not held a single public hearing on net neutrality. There is no shortage
Wow.
of people who believe
Not even a public hearing.
listening to their concerns,
That's crazy.
their fears, and their desires. Add this agency to
But it's not surprising.
Now I too am frustrated, but here's a twist. I hear you. I listen to what the callers to my office are saying. I read the countless individually written emails in my inbox, the posts online.
Dude, I said I was gonna move to Mexico if Trump became president.
And
I'm not actually moving to Canada. Not anytime soon.
If the arc of history is long, we are going to bend this toward a more just outcome. In the courts, in Congress, wherever we need to go to ensure that net neutrality stays the law of the land. Because if you are conservative or progressive, you benefit from internet openness.
That's
If
true.
you come from a small town or a big city,
Everything this
benefit
woman is
from
saying is
internet
absolutely
openness.
right.
If you are a company or a nonprofit, you benefit from internet openness. If you are a startup or an established business, you benefit from internet openness. If you are a consumer or a creator, you benefit from internet openness. And if you believe in democracy, you benefit from internet openness.
Mm-hmm.
So let's persist, let's fight, let's not stop here or now. It's too important. The future depends on it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Oh boy, here we go.
The internet is
This
the
dude.
greatest free market innovation in history.
I can't wait
Changed
to
the way we
dissect
live,
his
The way
bullshit.
we play, the way we work,
Let's go.
the way we learn, the way we speak. During my time at the FCC, I've met with entrepreneurs in South Dakota who started businesses. I've met with doctors in Ohio who have helped care for patients. I've met with teachers in Alaska.
This
who
dude's
helped
just
with
pulling up talking
I've met with
points
farmers in
that
Missouri
he
who
wrote in
increased their
advance.
profits. And I've
Maybe
met with
Verizon
women
wrote for him.
who have succeeded, all because of the internet. And the internet has enriched my own life.
More buffering. More buffering. I mean, of course, I'm gonna expect it. It's been buffering like this whole time. Let's see if I can get that ABC stream going, because they got that.
If you are a company, benefit from internet.
Yeah,
You benefit.
I don't see any video. I just
And if you believe in
see.
democracy, net openness. So stop here or now.
Yeah, there's no video for that. So, yeah, I'm just gonna wait for it to unbuffer, but it's so far from what I've heard, like, the guys that are gonna revoke net neutrality have total trust in the ISPs.
To build out fixed
Trust.
and mobile networks
Oh,
throughout
here we go.
the United States. 28K modems gave way to gigabit fiber. Innovators and entrepreneurs grew startups into global giants.
When this dude talks about innovation, net neutrality helps prosper innovation.
This
So,
light touch approach was good for consumers too.
light touch regulations is also the most bullshit phrase I've heard in a
Online
long
services
time.
blossomed. Within a generation, we have gone from email as the killer app to high-definition video streaming. Entrepreneurs and innovators guided the internet far better than the clumsy hand of government ever could have.
Nuh-uh, man.
But then,
You
in
see,
early 2015,
there's a problem with that.
the FCC, under political pressure, jettisoned
When you talk about government
bipartisan approach to
being
the internet. On
bad
express
with
orders from previous
quality,
governments,
it's the exact
FCC
opposite.
scrapped the tried and true
Like,
light touch regulation of the internet and replaced it
public
with heavy-handed
internet
management.
has been
Decided to subject the internet
faster
to utility
and has
standards
pushed the ISPs
designed
to
in
have to
the
do better.
1930s.
So that's total bullshit right there.
This decision was a mistake. For one thing, there was no problem to solve. The internet wasn't broken in 2015.
Yeah, it was.
We were not living
It was
in some
okay.
dystopia.
So it wasn't broken,
To the contrary,
but
the internet is
by that time, by that
perhaps
year,
the only
Verizon
thing
won a
in
court
American
case
society
that
we can
allowed
argue
them
has been
to
a stunning success.
provide
Not only was
slow
there no
lanes and
problem,
fast
this
lanes
solution
because there weren't Title
The
II
main
regulations.
complaint consumers have about the internet is not and has never been that their internet service provider is blocking access to content. So they don't have access at all.
No, that's not the main
competition.
complaint. I think the main complaint
These
is that it's
regulations
slow as
have
fuck.
ironically taken us in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
as
swearing
preferences.
quite a bit in this stream.
Under Title II, investment in high-speed networks has declined by billions
At
of
this
dollars.
point, I just don't care.
Notably, this is the first time that such investment has declined outside of a recession in the internet era. When there is less investment, that means fewer next generations.
I'll tell you why
That
these
means
companies
less
don't
access to less
invest.
competition.
It's because they don't want to
That means
spend the
fewer
money
jobs for
to
Americans
actually
building
put
these
up
networks.
more
And that
lines.
means more
Or
Americans are stranded on the wrong
there's
side.
laws in place that prevent these companies
The impact is
from
particularly serious
adding
for smaller
lines
service providers.
in order
They
to
don't
provide
have
internet to
money
different
or barriers
areas.
to navigate a thicket of complex
Like there's
rules.
laws
They
preventing
don't get a lot of
infrastructure
press,
investment to
certainly,
provide internet.
in
Just
the
ask
national-
Google Fiber.
But I've personally visited some of them, from Spencer Municipal Utilities in Spencer, Iowa, to Wave Wireless in Parsons, Kansas. I have personally spoken with many more, from Amplex Internet in Ohio to Airlink Services in Oklahoma. And so it is no surprise that the Wireless Internet Service Providers Association, which represents very small fixed wireless companies that typically operate in rural and low-income urban
Wireless
areas,
Internet
surveyed its
Service
members and
Providers
found that over
Association.
80%, quote, incurred additional expense in complying with the Title II rules, had delayed or reduced network expansion, had delayed or reduced services, and had allocated budget to comply with the rules. Other small companies, too, have told the FCC that these regulations have forced them to cancel, delay, or curtail
I want to
network
hear that.
upgrades.
I want to hear this
And nearly
proof.
24 small
This
providers
is-
submitted a letter saying that the FCC
I don't know, man.
rules affect
This
our
smells like
ability
shit to
fund
me.
Financing. Now remember, these are not the big guys.
I feel like they're
Small
taking.
companies, the kinds of companies that are critical to provide.
I feel like they're taking small amounts of information from select
One major
studies.
company, for instance, reported that it put on hold a project to build out its out-of-home Wi-Fi network due to uncertainty about the FCC's regulatory stance. And a coalition of 19 municipal internet service providers, that is, city government-owned nonprofits,
Remember, guys,
told
there's
the
two
FCC
ways
they, and
that
I
this
quote,
can further
often
be
delay or hold off on rolling
overturned.
out a new feature or
One,
service
Congress
because they
can
cannot
overturn
afford
it,
to deal
and
with a potential
two,
complaint.
it can be overturned in a court case.
None of this.
I don't have much
is
hope for
good
Congress at
consumers.
this point, but I think
need to
it could be
empower all
overturned in that
Americans
court
with
case, so
digital
we got a
opportunities,
chance.
Not deny them the benefits of greater access and competition.
We know 100%
Consider,
that they're going to vote
that these are just
yes.
the effects that these rules have had on the internet today.
3-2.
Think about how they will affect the internet that we need 10, 20 years from now. The digital world bears no resemblance to a water pipe or an electric line or a sewer. The use of those pipes
Not
will be
technically.
roughly constant over
Physically,
time.
at least.
Very few would say that there's been dramatic innovation in these areas. By contrast, online traffic is exploding, and we consume exponentially more traffic and data over time. With the dawn of the Internet of Things, with the development of high bitrate applications,
Yeah, I am a
virtual
pie
reality,
disliker.
with new activities that we can't fully grasp yet, like high-volume Bitcoin mining, we are imposing ever more demands on the network. And over time, that means our networks themselves will need to scale too. On advice of security, we need to take a brief recess.
Alright. Brief recess. So, they're going to be talking for a little bit, and I guess I'll just talk with you guys for a little bit. No, I'm not going to change my channel name. I did change my Twitter name for a little bit, but I decided to make it serious after Max's mom passed away. Just because, like, I didn't want that weird name, and the picture to show while I was like, you know, trying to give him support. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or more information, like, I am more than happy to dispute all sorts of bullshit. So, yeah. So there was a lot of information there that was either misleading or false by Ajit Pai. So already we know that they're going to push this through no matter what. So this is not a matter of Ajit Pai, you know, convincing him. There is no convincing him. This guy is dead set on repealing the Title II regulations, regardless of whether or not it makes him the most hated man on the internet. That said, yeah, we still have opportunities regardless after this. So this isn't the end. This, if anything, this is the beginning. This is going to be a long, hard-fought battle, but yeah, this could be overturned by either Congress or a court case, and I think it will be overturned with a court case. I'm not totally convinced, because it depends probably on like who is judging that and who's in the staff of the court. But yeah, this is probably going to be my only news and politics stream ever. I don't expect to be doing this again, but yeah. I felt like this would be a good opportunity, and I just don't, you know, at this point, I thought it would be like fun to actually just dispute their bullshit live, because I've looked so much into this information. So yeah, a lot of what they were talking about, especially Ajit Pai, he was saying that because of the Title II regulations, the ISPs can't invest in rural areas, which is complete bullshit. That is 100% bullshit. Infrastructure spending on different locations just depends on the ISPs. If you want to make sure that the ISPs go out to rural areas, just force them by the government. Like, if they're gonna have these regional monopolies, they have to at least provide the service in different areas. For real, like, there are specific areas that people have said all the time where, like, they're just a street away. They're just like across the street or down the block or something, and the ISP will not provide internet to them because it doesn't cover their area. And that's so bullshit. And to trust that the ISPs won't block or throttle is completely absurd. I should probably put my phone on silent. Alright, so, yeah, where was I? Yeah, so pretty much like everywhere I know, if a person lives in a rural area, they either have internet and it's, I don't know, decent or maybe shitty, but like the Title II regulations have nothing to do with the internet that's been provided to them. Yeah, I'm still a brony. I still like the show. I haven't watched many episodes recently, but it doesn't matter. Right now I'm just covering this. So yeah, yeah, there's been evidence in the past that the ISPs have blocked services or throttled speeds. We have evidence of this. And, like, for example, the phone services like Verizon, AT&T, they've blocked Google Wallet in order to use their own services and to promote their own services. Hey, instead of using Google Wallet, why not use our service? It's bullshit. I don't think I'll be reacting to Anthology 6. Yeah, this is just complete and utter bullshit. And I'm just gonna keep talking about it. Let's see, what else? Yeah, there's also blatant evidence that Comcast throttled Netflix, and until Netflix paid them, like, a fee, Comcast was throttling their speeds and dipping it low for Netflix users. I'm not really going to be talking about reaction videos right now, guys. I just want to focus on this because this is way more important, and I want to just educate people and dispute the bullshit that is being spewed by those 3 members of the FCC. Yeah, Webstep. I think what worries me the most about this isn't even, like, if it goes through and the ISPs start, like, messing with us. I'm worried that this might become the standard in other countries around the world. So, like, I don't think it'll necessarily happen in Canada, but I don't trust the companies in Canada either. And I remember... okay, cartoon movie makers, I don't know what you're saying at all. But... so, yeah, there was a thing with Canada where they talked about, like, blocking services and using piracy as an excuse or whatever. So that stuff is still going on in other countries. There might be a law about competition, and you might have a lot of stricter regulations that prevents companies from doing this kind of garbage, but at the same time, you still can't trust the ISPs or any other companies that might try to regulate or restrict certain websites, because I've seen that happening here and there with Canada. It's not gonna be, like, as blatant, but they're gonna use, like, piracy excuses. So keep an eye on that. Stay informed with your own countries, because that's definitely extremely important as well. When the fuck does the EU have a jurisdiction to dictate the law in the US? I don't know what you're talking about at all, Death Dealer. So I don't know. Oh, that's pretty cool though. Man. Yeah. Like I said, we pretty much have one high-speed internet service provider in our area. That is Spectrum. In some other areas nearby, they have Verizon Fios. We don't get that here. We do get Verizon, what was it, Verizon DSL? Yeah, Verizon DSL, which is significantly slower. So, like, there's no question, like, if you want a decent internet speed, you need Spectrum in our area. And there was recently a merger between Time Warner Cable and Charter. And, yeah, Charter basically bought out Time Warner Cable, forcing the merger to happen. Well, maybe it wasn't, like, maybe they didn't buy them out, but there was a merger, and now they're just one company under the name of Spectrum. So, like, these ISPs are merging and growing bigger, and the monopolies are being controlled by fewer and fewer companies. Let's see here. Yeah, you have Bell and Videotron. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of Bell. George W. Bush dodged 2 shoes 9 years ago today. Can the internet dodge 3 FCC assholes? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, man. If you... Okay. Kana, if you're scared about the FCC vote, there is no suspense in this vote. None whatsoever. This vote will 100%... I 100% guarantee you, this vote will go to cut Title II regulations from net neutrality. So, yeah, there's no hope on this vote. I just came here to dispute their bullshit. You say you got Boost as an internet provider. Wait, are you serious? What, were there security threats, really? Like, hold up, I gotta look this up. Alright. This is interesting. So they're still around. I can see them on screen now. So it looks like they're sitting back down. I'll read. I'll pull up this article on my phone and I'll read it real quick. Just now, as FCC Chairman Ajit Pai was in the middle of giving his comment on the net neutrality proposal, someone handed him a note. He quickly said that on advice of security, the commission needed to take a break. The feed was then cut off. Politico has a feed of the evacuated room up. Law enforcement and bomb-sniffing dogs are searching the room. We'll update this post as we receive more information. Okay, so I am not in favor of this. Like, even though I am against what the FCC is trying to do, I certainly don't advise for any sort of bomb threat. I think that's just bad news for everybody, and it just makes them look more like the victim. Alright, so now we're on a buffering real quick, but it looks like Vice News is going to bring back up Ajit Pai in his speech. Yeah, I realize that you guys don't condone it. Like, jokes aside, like, I get nobody here condones it. So, yeah, we're gonna have Ajit Pai come back, and he's going to continue giving his speech. I don't know if anyone else is gonna give a speech after him. They might just do the vote. Alright, here we go.
Time, that means that our networks themselves will have to scale too. But they don't have to. If our rules deter the massive infrastructure investment that we need, eventually we'll pay the price in terms of less innovation.
It's talking more about infrastructure.
Words from Ben Thompson, a highly respected technologist,
just lies.
From a post on his blog Stratechery, supporting my proposal. It's an extended quote, but with your indulgence, it's important. The question that must be grappled with is whether or not the internet is done. By that I mean that today's bandwidth is all we will ever need, which means we can risk chilling investment through prophylactic regulation.
Look, if you want to make fiber optic available in your different areas, make it available. You worked at Verizon.
Sure, ISPs will have to do more paperwork, but honestly, they're just a bunch of mean monopolists anyways, right? Best to get laws in place to preserve what we have. But what if we aren't done? What if virtual reality with dual 8K displays actually becomes something meaningful? What if those imagined remote medicine applications are actually developed? What if the Internet of Things moves beyond this messy experimentation phase?
I think it would be a lot better with a public option. Maybe if we had a public option, the ISPs would be forced to provide better service.
I hope we will have the bandwidth to support all of that. I do too. And as Thompson...
And I'm just talking about pure capitalism here.
And I quote, "The fact of the matter is there is no evidence that harm exists in the sort of systematic way that justifies heavily regulating ISPs. The evidence does suggest that current regulatory structures handle bad actors perfectly well. The only future to fear..."
Look at him just stumbling on his words. You can tell he's lying.
...on the approach that already has brought us so far. Now remember, folks, networks don't have to be built. Risks...
If you tell the truth, you say the same thing every time.
The cost of Title II...
If you lie, it's very easy to mix up your words.
But the consumers and innovators of tomorrow will pay a severe price. So, what is the FCC doing today? Quite simply, we are restoring the light touch framework that has governed the internet.
Light touch regulations means
to Title I.
no regulations.
It is difficult to match that mundane reality to the apocalyptic rhetoric that we have heard from Title II supporters. And as the debate has gone on, their claims have gotten more and more outlandish. So let's be clear. Returning to the legal framework that governed the internet from President Clinton's pronouncement in 1996 until 2015 is not going to destroy the internet. It is not going to end...
This dude wants the internet regulations to be like they were in the 90s. Guess what? The internet was very, very different in the 90s.
Propositions alone doesn't demonstrate their absurdity. Our internet experience before 2015...
You want to pull up that dial-up again?
...experience tomorrow, once this order passes, will prove them so. Simply put, by returning to the light touch Title I framework, we are helping consumers and promoting competition.
This dude just said that it would promote competition. Are you kidding me?
This means there will be more competition.
More competition? That's bullshit.
Startups and tech giants alike can deliver.
These guys want monopolies over the different regions, and they decided to intentionally not compete with each other. That is so bullshit. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Promoting competition? That's absurd.
Startups get the information they need as
wow.
and services. Moreover, we empower the Federal Trade Commission to ensure that consumers and competition are protected.
Maybe get rid of those regional monopolies first, if you're going to talk about more competition.
Over broadband providers. Today, we are putting the nation's premier consumer protection cop back on the beat. The FCC will once again have the authority.
Maybe let Google Fiber actually invest in different areas.
Deceptive acts. As FTC Chairman Maureen Olhausen recently said, and I quote, "The FTC's ability to protect consumers and promote competition in the broadband industry isn't something new and far-fetched. We have a long-established role in preserving the values that consumers care about online." Or, as President Obama's first FTC chairman put it just yesterday, "The plan to restore FTC jurisdiction is good for consumers. The sky isn't falling, consumers will remain protected, and the internet will continue to thrive." So let's be clear. Following today's vote...
This dude's talking about the FCC. Isn't that government organization that is at a lower level? And they're saying that they're going to be responsible for regulating it now? Because they basically have extremely little power, if not any.
Now, our decision today will also return regulatory parity to the internet economy. Some Silicon Valley platforms, giants, favor imposing heavy-handed regulations on other parts of the internet ecosystem. But all too often, they don't practice what they preach. Edge providers regularly block content that they don't like. When you go online,
like?
Do you decide what news, search results, and products you see? Perhaps not. They regularly decide what you see, and perhaps more importantly, what you don't.
Okay, so yes, this is technically true. Yes, websites do have different algorithms in place to promote popular information and to block other information. So that is technically true. He's taken a truth here, and he's trying to use it to promote his own ideology.
How does a company company decide to restrict someone's accounts or block their tweets because it thinks their views are inflammatory or wrong?
But that's a whole different discussion. It's totally not relevant to what he's doing right here. But it is relevant.
Access to websites on rival devices.
It's weird.
Or prevent dissidents' content from appearing on its platform. How does a company decide to block
Let me get this
aficionado app apparently because the company believes
Google, Facebook, Twitter, these companies are no angels.
any insight into any of these decisions?
But
Neither do I.
he's only against them right now because they're against him repealing net neutrality because it would definitely lose them business.
Coming from the very entities that claim to support it. Ironic, too, that so-called net neutrality advocates...
Cable's going the way of the dinosaur, man. The only thing that's keeping it alive is probably like sports and old people.
These are threats that grow...
That's pretty much it.
Democrat and Republican, House and Senate are beginning to take notice of. Now look, perhaps certain companies support saddling broadband providers with heavy-handed regulations because those rules work to their economic advantage. I don't blame them for taking that position. And I'm not saying that these same rules should be slapped on them too. What I am saying is that it is not the job of the government to be in the business of picking winners and losers on the internet.
Yeah, so then maybe don't have regional monopolies, because you are picking winners and losers because nobody else can invest infrastructure into the different areas. Because there are laws in place that prevent that. So maybe you do something about the regional monopolies first. Maybe that would be a good idea. Ajit is just like Trump. We'll try and cause chaos because someone didn't like his tweet on Twitter or someone blocked his dumbass on Facebook. Yeah. Yeah, man. And look, if anyone's really nervous, about their internet privacy, maybe look into the Tor browser. I've looked into it, and I'm not necessarily going to use it, but, I mean, I'm just saying, Edward Snowden uses that, so there might be something to that Tor browser.
Jane Taylor, from the Office of General Counsel, Ashley Purcell,
Maybe use it in a virtual machine, too.
Tom Johnson, Doug Klein, Marcus Mayer, Scott Novak, Linda Oliver, and Bill Richardson. From the Wireless Telecommunications Bureau, Stacy Ferraro, Neshe Gundelsberger, Garnet Hanley.
More buffering. I mean, this is what we gotta put up with right now, so whatever, man. We gotta put up with this buffering. I gotta put up with it, at least. I don't know about you guys. Oh, man. This dude's speech has more holes than SpongeBob. That's hilarious. It's not the most secure thing in the world. Behavioral use is still picked up and matched, but good to do basic browsing. I'm assuming you're talking about the Tor browser? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, I know there's like limitations to everything. And I am no expert on the Tor browser. I don't know about that. It might be good. I'm not sure.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Mr. Stockdale, once you and your folks are arranged, the floor is yours.
Mr. Chairman, may I interrupt a little?
Oh! So they're gonna like ask him questions.
I did turn it off. Thank you.
I'm so ready.
Vibrate would have been fine.
I'm so ready.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I am pleased to present to you the CMRS Presumption Report and Order. I'm joined at the table today by Suzanne Tétrault, Roger Noel, Kathy Harris, Tom Reed, and Jessica Griffinius. In addition to the staff at the table, I would like to thank the Commission staff listed on the slide for their input. Tom Reed will now present the item.
We present to you today an important order that updates and harmonizes our regulations regarding the classification of commercial mobile radio services and private mobile radio services, primarily by eliminating sections 20.7 and 20.9 of the Commission's rules. These rules classify or presume certain services to be either commercial mobile radio services, or CMRS, or private mobile radio services, or PMRS, based on the frequency band used to provide service.
This dude's talking about radio now.
On the characteristics of the service provider. That approach is premised on a paradigm developed more than 20 years ago when the Commission's rules contemplated distinct wireless services in each band. It is inconsistent, however, with the Commission's current flexible approach to licensing, which generally permits a licensee to provide any service it wishes, subject to the technical rules and service for the
Yeah, they did say no one is going to watch this, and right now they do have 76,000 people watching.
private, and instead allow licensees to rely on the statutory definitions of those terms to identify the nature and regulatory treatment of their mobile services.
Alright, bye, Death Dealer.
Eliminating 20.7 and 20.9 will reduce disparate regulatory treatment of similar services on different frequency bands. It will allow licensees to offer a variety of services rapidly and responsibly.
I gotta be honest, I have no idea what this dude is talking about. Just something about, like, eliminating some radio regulations. Radio is weird, too, because, like, there's a lot. Okay, there's only a couple of, like, very large companies that own a bunch of radio stations. So we don't just see this in the internet and in cable, but we do see this in the radio industry as well. It's just not as front and center as the internet is.
Thank you. What I'm about to say is reinforced if the cameras were to look at the rear of the room. If the topic of Part 20 of the Commission's rules were introduced at the average American dinner table, it might go over as well as a serving of Rocky Mountain oysters. Neither would be warmly received at my home.
Man, that's just wrong. even we have limits here, Commissioner.
Okay. The changes proposed in this order, coupled with the majority's dismantling of the open internet, you know what ends soon, have many unsavory implications for the future of competition policy. You're wondering how I was going to tie that in, right? As I made clear in my statement opposing the rollback of our open internet rules, I believe the proper interpretation of Section 332 of the Communications Act is that mobile broadband internet access service should be classified as a commercial mobile radio service, or CMRS, not a private mobile radio service. Eliminating our current Part 20 rules means we will remove precedent and procedures that could help parties demonstrate that a wireless company's mobile broadband service should be classified as CMRS. I understand that some may see this as a mere streamlining of commission rules, but in my opinion, this order removes important procedural safeguards, such as requiring the Commission to put certain applications out on public notice, which can help inform parties who are interested in challenging a company's claim that its mobile broadband internet access services should be classified as a private mobile radio service. And since that result is inconsistent with my review of proper classification for mobile broadband services, I respectfully dissent from the order and will admit my first example might have been a little edgy. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Clyburn. Commissioner Riley.
Thank the staff for the work, no statement.
Commissioner Carr.
Thanks. The United States leads the world in wireless. One of the reasons for this success is the FCC's decision to embrace a flexible use policy for spectrum. Instead of mandating that a particular...
It's an emotional topic.
Choked up on this one. Instead of mandating that a particular spectrum band be used with a specific type of wireless technology or service...
Alright, that was my mom. She interrupted me for a moment. I'm gonna go close my door.
This approach has enabled wireless networks in the U.S. to evolve with technology and to do so much more quickly than if operators had to obtain government sign-off.
Alright. Sorry about that.
Today we carry that approach forward.
This is another one of those guys that's full of bullshit. But I think this one, yeah, they're talking about radio right here, so I don't know as much about this issue. Nah, my sister's not home right now. She's at college.
This change will not only help level the regulatory playing field for wireless providers, but it will also result in more timely and efficient use of spectrum. The flexibility we provide today will be particularly important as we look to extend our global leadership in wireless as 5G and Internet of Things offerings continue to come online. I support the order and hope that we can continue the agency's efforts to identify and eliminate outdated and unnecessary regulatory burdens. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Rosenbusser.
In the interest of moving this along, I will say that I support today's decision. It does not in any way alter the statutory definitions of CMRS or PMRS, nor does it affect the underlying regulatory obligations associated with those services. And that is what it has been for.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioner. I too support.
Bye, Cyray.
Yes. This is as common sense and good government measure as you will find, and it simply finalizes the proposal that we unanimously adopted just last year. So, without further ado, I want to thank the staff for their work to help us to modernize these rules to get us to this point. In particular, thanks to Jessica Ruffenius, Kathy Harris, Roger Knoll, Tom Reed, Jennifer Salas, and Peter Trachtenberg from the Wireless Telecommunications Bureau, Jennifer Gilsonen and Carl Kinsinger from the International Bureau, Jim Bradshaw from the Media Bureau, Christine.
Yeah, this part doesn't have anything to do with the internet. This is strictly about radio. Hi, Petey. So yeah, I'll read the chat now since the stream is buffering. Seems they want to unburden wireless companies to be able to do what they want over cell towers in a manner they see fit, basically able to throttle and track you with no regulation. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about this, I don't know enough about this radio law and what's currently in place right now. Remember that, hi Petey, remember that change will be slow and almost unrecognizable. That's very true. The ISPs would be foolish if they decided to just launch changes quickly. Although I have noticed that a couple of companies have already been like skirting the law even before it's officially put in place because they figure that it doesn't matter. And in particular, I've seen it from Spectrum, my personal company that I use as my internet service provider. Multi-channel video.
The notice proposes to adopt a rule that would allow cable operators to deliver various types of general written communications.
So this is for cable. This one's for cable. Also know that Google, YouTube, and Facebook will have to disclose information what they do to their customers. Will they have to? I don't know if they have to. I guess they're pushing like a bunch of legislation through, and it's not just the net neutrality issue. Damn! This stream's already at 110.7 thousand. Dude, 110,000 people are watching this right now. Ajit Pai said nobody would be watching this. 110,000 people are watching this right now. We got 1/10 of a million. By Webstep.
In addition, the notice proposes to allow cable operators to respond to consumer requests or billing dispute complaints by email if the consumer used email to make the request or complaint, or if the consumer specifies email as its preferred delivery method in the request or complaint. The notice seeks comment on other proposals to update section 76.16.
I mean, this seems like a legit piece of legislation right here with the cable. With like new cable regulations, yeah. Yeah, that's part of the new rules now. YouTube and Facebook will have to tell customers and report to government what they are doing with their customers and what they do with the information. I mean, that's kind of okay, but I don't necessarily trust the government in itself because a lot of those guys are corrupt. So, yeah, I mean, it could be good if like important information is made public.
The Media Bureau recommends that the Commission adopt the notice of proposed rulemaking and request editorial privileges to make any necessary technical.
I'm learning a lot today.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy, for the presentation. We'll now turn the comments from the bench to Commissioner Clyburn.
Have you ever felt that you need to get an advanced degree to even come close to interpreting your monthly cable bill? Between annual price hikes, channel lineup changes, and mysteriously labeled fees, rest assured you are not alone in your frustration. According to one analyst, between 2011 and 2015, the average cable bill increased nearly 8 times the rate of inflation. Compounding this is the increasing use of below-the-line fees, a strategy that the FCC's 18th annual video competition report described as raising monthly bills.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Would that like mess up any companies that don't want to keep that information?
There are some providers that stand to benefit from a state of confusion.
At least PD says, okay. Yeah, YouTube has to tell the creators what the algorithm is doing now. Okay, PD, I've got a question. So, especially now that it's buffering, I've seen a couple of channels that claimed that their AdSense has been, like, blacklisted. So, like, they're demonetized by a fault. Hi, Musicus. So, will YouTube have to admit that they blacklisted channels? Because there were channels that, like, got hundreds of thousands of views that got like $1 in AdSense. So, yeah. I mean, I've seen it happen to different channels. Not just a demonetization, but blacklisting channels. Just straight up blacklisting them from the AdSense. Yeah. Okay, they will have to report that somewhere. Cool.
How these notifications are delivered, particularly when it comes to how much they will pay for monthly service.
That's pretty uplifting to hear, at least.
Proposal would have allowed companies to solely make this decision on behalf of their customers, and I found that troubling. So I'm pleased that my colleagues agreed to scale this section back by seeking comment on whether the move to electronic notification should be done on an opt-in basis by the consumer. As we seek to modernize the delivery of cable communications.
Yeah, this one seems alright. Hey, Robbie the Rotted. Yeah, I guess it is on the Internet Archive, because that game is available. Or, not available, but, like, people know about it at least now. Let's see. Facebook and Google can't operate under secrecy anymore. The FCC is going to regulate what goes on with these companies. You know, I hope so, but at the same time, I am a bit nervous, just because, like, they can throw in good legislation to cover up the bad legislation. That said, sure, I'm all for that. Like, I don't have a problem with any of these companies being forced to reveal information that they have on consumers.
The consumer that does not, why clutter their mailbox or inbox? This item rightfully considers what steps will be needed to permit electronic delivery of annual notices via other means reasonably calculated to reach the individual.
But I do definitely look at this with I do take everything that I'm hearing with a grain of salt right now.
Consider revising our rules on broadcast carriage election notification. I thank the chairman for accepting my edits to bolster this section and hope we can move to final order on this topic as well.
Obviously, I wouldn't want them to be forced to reveal something they don't have. If they genuinely don't have it. But I don't know if you can prove that you don't have something. And then would companies, like... That's the thing, though. Would companies have to, like... prove that they don't have the information? Or would companies be able to lie, say they don't have the information, and be able to not use it? I don't know.
Burdens that have outlived their usefulness. I thank the chairman for his attention to the topic.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Carter.
This year, the FCC has made significant strides in modernizing outdated rules and reducing unnecessary paperwork burdens. This effort has been particularly welcome when it comes to the FCC's media regulations, which have languished without update.
I wonder if anyone else is streaming like this right now.
76 rules.
There probably are a couple of people.
Today's notice of proposed rulemaking. These rules regulate cable operators' communications with
Yeah.
their subscribers, but those rules are stuck in the stalemate.
The name is 100% coincidental. I had no idea that anyone
Email is a more
like this would happen.
cost-effective means and one that the consumer prefers. Allowing cable operators to communicate with their subscribers electronically is long overdue, so I support today's notice. It contains
Yeah,
proposals
that would be a disaster if companies like LastPass had to give out certain information.
receive information the way they find most.
There have been cases where like the government required and asked for information like from accessing people's cell phones for getting past
I
encryption.
lose paper bills all the time. So the prospect of being able to make them available electronically is enticing. This item has my full support.
If net neutrality is repealed and AT&T is allowed to throttle its customers, I'd have to drop out of college since the majority of my classes are online, and I'm barely able to afford internet right now. Yeah, that's a huge point. Especially if you don't like locally go to the college or anything.
To actually decipher them. I think most consumers simply ignore them.
Last year, when I was getting my master's degree, all of my courses were online. Luckily, I still would have been able to drive to my local college, but it was so much easier to do work from home. That said, I didn't have to do that much online.
Simply proposing to take the consumer-friendly step
Like,
of allowing video companies or
most of it was just like uploading a couple of papers and
if it's finalized,
some
this proposal would allow
PDFs.
consumers to more readily access information about their services in a form that they find most convenient. And it would also get rid of a
Yeah.
lot of environmental...
But it is an interesting like debate because like I do like the idea of the companies being transparent about their data, but at the same point, yeah, we do need to make sure that nothing unnecessarily gets leaked. This is what is going to happen to the internet. There will be no more internet startup companies in America anymore. There is no place for them to go big. All those companies will be outside.
This doesn't seem to be as efficient or as necessary as it could be.
Yeah, maybe not in America.
Streamline this notice requirement while still ensuring that MVPDs get the information that they need. Now, I, along with my colleagues, I would like to thank Steve Brockert, Michelle Carey, Katie Costello, Heller, Maria Malarkey, and Mary Beth Murphy of the Media Bureau, and Susan Aaron and David Consul from the Office of General Counsel for the efforts on this notice. We'll proceed to a vote on the item. Commissioner Clyburn. Commissioner O'Reilly.
I mean, this isn't the end, Robbie, but yeah, I'm scared too.
Granted as requested. If only you were always so...
Alright,
Madam Secretary, please announce the next item.
I feel good about this, so the content creators are noticed and getting paid for the work they do. Otherwise, Patreon is a lifeline for most YouTubers. Become a patron if you can spare. They are killing long-term security for short-term gains.
Ms. Carey, whenever you're ready.
Alright, ah man. More buffering. I do appreciate you guys, like, giving input about the whole, security versus, you know, providing, information on data and what the companies are using, their consumers' information for. Like, that's a very, very good point that, I hadn't heard about at all until now. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of buffering in this stream. This is a normal thing. Just waiting for it to come back. Yeah. You guys remember SOPA and CISPA? Oh man.
which provides that when calculating compliance with the national audience reach cap, stations broadcasting in the UHF spectrum are attributed with only 50% of the.
Yeah, Death Dealer, I mean, it depends, like, how often you promote it, and, yeah, you've gotta, like, you also need to have a bit of a follower base in order to promote a Patreon. I wouldn't do it myself unless I felt comfortable with the content that I was making and consistent about it. And even then, like, I kind of prefer just doing the stuff part-time while I'm, like, working a full-time job. Although I'm not working a full-time job right now because I'm looking for work. But yeah. I do think at some point this will shift over and it'll be overturned again one way or the other. It might not necessarily be over the next couple of years. Like, it might take another 5 years to return net neutrality to back where it was.
The notice asks whether the cap should be simultaneously raised, and if so, by how much. Additionally, the notice seeks comment on the benefits and costs of lowering the cap. The notice next asks whether the national cap continues to serve the public interest, and if so, what public interest goals, such as localism, continue to justify a cap. The notice also asks...
Is this lady talking about data caps?
The notice also seeks comment on how to calculate compliance with the national audience reach cap if one is retained.
National audience reach cap?
Justification for the UHF discount. That analog UHF...
Yeah, I've seen the freaking FCC used a couple of times. That Family Guy clip has been referenced a couple times, yeah. I've seen it on Twitter. I'll be able to sleep. I'll probably be able to sleep easier because I won't be able to browse online and distract myself with my phone as easily. The buffering will make me want to go to sleep. Okay, yeah, that's true though. There are two ways this can be overturned. I'm going to repeat it again. One can be Congress. Congress can overturn this. The second way is that this can be overturned with a court case. Both of those options are very possible. I think the court case is more likely than Congress overturning it, though. Doesn't Ajit have to defend the bill in court? I heard that after they repealed, he has to defend the repeal. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, there's a court case that Ajit Pai is going to have to defend. And if the court case doesn't go in his favor, net neutrality can be protected.
There is the frightening possibility of it all speaking with one voice. Those sage words delivered by broadcast journalist Linda Ellerby in 2000 ring true today. In any other month, a proposal giving massive media companies the chance to have an even greater share of the local programming market would generate substantial attention and widespread public concern. While admittedly this is not your typical month at the FCC, the
more buffering. Does anyone else have any more comments or questions on the issue? Or a similar issue? Doesn't have to be net neutrality. There were some good points made earlier by Pikapidi and what was that other person's name? Marusami, I think. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I apologize on that ahead of time. I'm doing okay. I just met up with an employment agency, and well, they told me about one position that might be able to hire me, so I'm feeling pretty good, personally. Yes, there's going to be plenty of buffering in this stream. is YouTube gonna die if this goes through? No. No, YouTube is not gonna die. But, that said, ISPs will probably sneak in more bullshit as time goes on, and YouTube might suffer. Although it might be temporary, too. This is more so going to impact services that directly compete with the different companies. So this might affect YouTube TV more than it affects regular YouTube videos. But yeah, this would also more likely impact smaller businesses that operate under different platforms. Like, I am a bit more worried about Twitch than I am about YouTube. I don't know, like, how much capital Twitch would have in order to allow for, in order to, like, have the money to pay the different fees that, like, Netflix paid Comcast, for example.
The national television ownership cap issue appears to be resolved by the passage of this legislation. Press accounts at the time, including a January 2004 story.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get that Overwatch reference.
Affirmed that one of the few features of the law was that
only
Congress, not the FCC.
So I don't really want to talk about reaction videos right now.
Challenge from broadcasters who sought to maintain
I'd just rather keep it to this issue right now. So sorry, Bueno Loco, I'm not really going to answer that right now.
Of 2004. In the court's decision, it wrote,
yeah, I think Twitch is much more likely to suffer than YouTube, which really sucks too, because Twitch is like great competition for YouTube.
The commission's decision to raise the cap to 45% are moot. This decision should have once and for all put to rest any question that the FCC could independently increase the cap. But no. The current administration, in its quest to greenlight even greater media consolidation, has found a way to rewrite history and ignore the Third Circuit decision. Earlier this year, over my vociferous objection, the FCC majority reinstated the UHF discount, giving the blessing for a single company.
It's not over yet, Raven. But they will repeal it. They are going to repeal it, they just haven't voted it yet.
When Congress enacted the cap, the DTV transition was still 5 years away. But thanks to the transition to digital television, UHF stations are no longer inferior to VHF stations. This can be nothing else but that broadcasters, with the blessing,
yeah, I guess, I mean, it's more of like a reaction stream than a reaction video.
to expand their reach.
Although it will be a video once the stream is over.
How did we get to this?
So, with this vote, I am completely certain that they're going to repeal net neutrality with its current regulations for Title II. But Congress can overturn it, and there can be a court case that a GPI will have to like defend this in a court case, basically, and the court case can strike down his decision.
Media ownership rules should be rejected, and I quote, for the sake of our democracy. Leading into
Livestream says that it's over?
Congress
I mean, maybe.
to debate the issue, and there were bipartisan House and Senate resolutions
It's possible.
that disapproved of the FCC's deregulation of the media ownership rules.
I'm
There
gonna
were also
check.
multiple congressional hearings that year. Senator Trent Lott,
I'm gonna check to see if the vote happened yet.
raising the cap, said, and I quote, that the nation is in danger of losing the localism and diversity
Yeah, maybe they did vote.
that are offered under
I didn't think they voted, but they did stop talking about it.
current cap is raised, end quote. Strong words from the former Senate leader, and he was not alone. A deeply fought battle ultimately resulted in a compromise between congressional leadership and the White House. That November, an agreement was reached that a 39% national ownership cap was established that will be put into law.
I'm checking Twitter right now to see if there's any updates. I'm following quite a few people.
Fast forward to last month, when Democratic leader Pelosi, along with representatives...
Alright, yeah. Yeah, so I guess it was repealed 30 minutes ago. They voted on it. So, yeah, the FCC officially voted it's 3-2. Yeah, so, my bad guys, I didn't realize that the vote already happened. Maybe I missed that during the buffering. Okay. Now,
diversity and competition are bedrock principles.
I'm going to just go off of this for a second. So, I just want to cover a couple of bases first before everyone starts freaking out that this fight is over. So, let me just... okay. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that, guys. My pop filter fell off. Okay. So my mouse is a lot slower right now during the live stream, so forgive me for a sec. Yeah. Alright. I want to show you guys a couple of different links that I've seen on Twitter. Alright, so, this article says, New York Attorney General to sue FCC over net neutrality repeal. The New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman announced Thursday that he is suing to block the end of net neutrality rules. Schneiderman's announcement came moments after the FCC voted in favor of abolishing the rules. The FCC just gave Big Telecom an early Christmas present by giving their internet service providers yet another way to put corporate profits over consumers. Today's rule would enable ISPs to charge consumers to more access to sites like Facebook and Twitter and give them the leverage to degrade high-quality video streaming until and unless somebody pays them more money. Even worse, today's votes would enable ISPs to favor certain viewpoints over others. Alright, so this is a very short article, but yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of material that's going on right now. This is one of them. Let me pull up this right here. So, I definitely recommend following Fight for the Future on Twitter. They pull up a lot of information though, so if you don't want them to flood your Twitter feed, maybe not the best decision. But Senator Markey, that is from, what is he from? I'm trying to remember what state Markey's from, but he introduced his Leeds resolution to overturn FCC vote and restore net neutrality protections. So yes, we can call Congress, battle for the net, or text battle. You can also text. You can text battle to 384-387. And yeah, I'm assuming that most people are going to be like trying to get behind this type of legislation. So this is what we're talking about when we talk about Congress being able to overturn it, to overturn the FCC vote in particular. So this resolution in particular by Senator Markey, CRA resolution would reinstate robust net neutrality protections and the open internet order. Alright, and yeah, there's already a lot of co-sponsors on this bill, but I don't see any Republicans. That's what worries me, because this is a Republican majority right now in the House and in the Senate. And if we don't get Republican support, like, bam, bye-bye any chance at Congress overturning the FCC vote. So, yeah, if we can get Republican Congress members on board, then game, set, match, we're good. The problem is that a large amount of them are siding with Ajit Pai. So, yeah, this is why I personally don't believe that the Congress will overturn the FCC vote, regardless of who calls them and how many times. But if we get enough people on board from the areas, they could see public pressure where if they're like in a swing election, they could be pressured to side with this bill. Congress can be pressured. So it very well could happen. I don't think it will happen, but it could. If you have a Congress member or a senator who is not co-sponsoring this, I definitely would urge them to co-sponsor it. I'm going to check to see if my senators are co-sponsoring this. I have one of my senators co-sponsoring it right now, but the other one isn't. So yeah, I might give my other senator a call, even though he'll probably approve of this, because I have seen him speak up about net neutrality. I do want him to get behind the bill by Senator Markey. So yes, there are definitely alternatives that we can do to go through this, and it's not just this, but we also got to talk about that court case. This is all over my Twitter feed right now. If they vote to repeal, they still have to go to court to defend their choice. Spread this. Net neutrality has been discussed in court before. We won twice. So, yes, it's not over yet. The court case, I think that is going to be the main avenue for us to defend net neutrality, because it would take an incredible amount of effort and convincing in order to get Congress, enough members of Congress to get on board to repeal this FCC vote. But this court case might just do it. The court case has been discussed before, and Ajit Pai has to defend this bill. And if Ajit Pai fails to defend this bill in court, and the court decides that they aren't going to side with him, there is a real chance that we still might have the net neutrality regulations that are currently in place, and they'll stay in place. So there's a very good chance of that happening. A much better chance, I think, than if Congress were to overturn it. But we should have all avenues to try and get this overturned, because we can't put all of our eggs in one basket. So we can't just hope that Congress repeals it, but we can't just hope that the court case repeals it either. So, yeah, I would definitely look up your Congress members, and I would also look up your senators, see if they've supported the bill by Senator Markey. So, we got Senator Markey on board with this. We've got Senators Ron Wyden, Maria Cantwell, Brian Schatz, Richard Blumenthal, Sheldon Whitehouse, Jeff Merkley, Kirsten Gillibrand, Tammy Baldwin, Martin Heinrich, Maggie Hassan, Amy Klobuchar, Gary Peters, Debbie Stabenow, Patrick Leahy, Bernie Sanders, Sherrod Brown, and Jack Reed, all on this bill. That's 18. I believe those are all senators, yeah. So it doesn't quite discuss the Congress members that are behind this. Also, Congressman Mike Doyle plans to introduce a CRA resolution in the House of Representatives. So you want to keep this in mind. There are two pieces of legislation in Congress that could be passed. So we got the Senate one right here, proposed by Edward Markey from Massachusetts. Okay, so he's a Massachusetts senator. And Mike Doyle from Pennsylvania in the House of Representatives. So again, what I would do if you're going to call Congress, if you're going to call your Congress members, if you're asking your senators, then definitely ask them to get on board and co-sponsor Senator Edward Markey's legislation, his CRA resolution to reinstate net neutrality protections. So I don't know if there's like a number for this yet, but definitely if there's a number, that would help too. So if you can ask them specifics about co-sponsoring a bill, this is the one to get behind. Get behind Edward Markey's for the Senate. If you have a senator that hasn't gotten on board yet, and the senators that have gotten on board are listed, I'm actually going to zoom in on this one because I think it's really important that everybody knows which senators are on board. So yeah, let me just zoom in a little bit. I'm trying to get like everyone in on this, and it just doesn't fit. It's too much. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I'll just place it like there, and then yeah, I'll also move it down move it to the bottom. Okay, there we go. Oh God. Okay, yeah. So I've had it on there long enough. I'll actually retweet this, because this one in particular is really important. Yeah, so how about while I do this, why don't I react to that bullshit video that Ajit Pai posted? I know. Oh my God. Here it is. Oh my God. Okay, this is incredible. Alright. So I'm gonna put up my window capture. Okay, cool. Nope. Ah, that's not what I wanted. Okay. So I guess this dude made like a BuzzFeed style type video. Also, let me yeah, look at those dislikes. That's incredible. So I'm gonna leave that on there just to like keep up the dislikes. Alright. So I am legit gonna react to this video right here. I don't know how bullshit this is, but this is it's already looking pretty bad. You see him with a fidget spinner, some sort of blaster gun, and what are those 3D glasses? I don't. And dude's wearing a Santa outfit. All right, here we go. 82 likes, 1,000 dislikes, and that's just on this one video. I'm sure there's plenty of other videos posted. This is not the original video. This is just a copy of the video as listed in the description. So brace yourself. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Ajit Pai. I'm the chairman of the FCC. Recently, there's been quite a bit of conversation about my plan to restore internet freedom. Here are just a few of the things you'll still be able to do on the internet after these Obama-era regulations are repealed. You can still gram your food.
Oh my god. That's horrible.
Quality.
That's not funny.
Real selfie or just... You can still post
that royalty-free music.
Like puppies. You can still shop for all your Christmas presents online. Got that bulk deal on fidget spinners.
All this stuff is like royalty-free.
Those glasses are so cheap.
Verizon couldn't afford to like make their own stuff. They're using royalty-free stuff.
You can still binge watch your favorite shows.
Sure.
You can still stay part of your favorite fan community.
Oh my god, is that just a hoodie? He's just wearing a hoodie. He's not even like wearing an actual outfit. I wonder what Filthy Frank thinks about this.
And everything else you ever did on the internet. Like everything. All of it. All of it.
Yeah! Yeah, that's not good. Now... Yeah, this is about as cringy as you could get. Like, and I think he's aware of it at this point. I think he certainly knows, and I think he's honestly just taunting us with this. What did he say? You can still ruin memes? Like, this guy... Okay, whoever made this does understand internet culture. They just don't care. They just don't care. And it's 100%... I mean, it's 100% known at this point. Ajit Pai knows very well what he's doing. He is very self-aware. So, this is not just out of ignorance. This is because he's getting paid by Verizon, and he's going to get a very sweet, cozy job where he probably doesn't have to do anything after this. And they're just going to pay him millions of dollars. Man. Yeah. So... No, Ajit Pai, we can't ruin the memes. You ruin the memes. Oh my god. Alright. So, I think I'm going to end this stream right here. But, yeah. Definitely, you can... I would still encourage you guys to call Congress and to support the different CPA movements that have been going on. Particularly this one with Senator Markey's resolution. I'm gonna move that a little bit. See, oh no, yeah. Okay, come on. So yeah, if your senator is not on the list that I retweeted, I should have retweeted this. Yeah, I did. Okay. I retweeted this. Follow Fight the Future on Twitter because they post a lot of great information like this, which I never would have known about otherwise. Yeah. If you're going to call your senators, talk about this this legislation that Senator Markey is proposing. That's going to be helpful. And Mike Doyle is the other guy. Mike Doyle is the guy from the House of Representatives that is also going to be proposing CRA legislation. So keep an eye on those two guys in particular, and yeah, I do recommend following Fight for the Future if you want more information about it. And so I normally don't get political at all on YouTube, and I'm going to stop talking about this on YouTube afterwards, but I will promote just one channel that I think has done a great amount of coverage on this whole net neutrality issue. And honestly, you can see them like in the recommended videos. So a lot of the videos that have been posted have been by the Humanist Report. Now the Humanist Report might not be for everybody, especially if you have more conservative beliefs, but I think he does a lot of great coverage, especially in regards to the different stories regarding Ajit Pai. So yeah, let me see here. I believe this was one of his more recent videos. Yeah, this was December 13th, and yeah, he's got a lot of great information with original sources that you can go to. So if you're interested in learning more information in a very entertaining way, Angry Joe also showed a bit of his information too. So I'm not the only one that watches this guy. Yeah, right here we've got 2 original sources and a video clip of Ajit Pai admitting that he admitted that there is a risk to repealing net neutrality, but he doesn't care. So yeah, that's just some information. I'm gonna leave it out there. I'm gonna throw it out, and take what you want if you want to use that information. But I'm gonna be ending this stream. One more time, pay attention to this legislation, Senator Markey's legislation. That's going to be very important down the road. And also, remember, there's a court case that will happen that might end up saving net neutrality. I'm probably going to stream in a little bit of some gameplay, and I'm not going to cover this at all anymore. This is pretty much all my thoughts on net neutrality that I wanted to get out there. So yeah, this is it. Thank you guys for watching this stream. Hope you guys had some fun. And yeah, I don't want to cover news and politics. That stuff kind of it scares me, but this is important. This is really important. So getting this out there, and I hope you guys I hope we can all enjoy the internet after this. Take care. Peace out.